there was just this man standing in the middle of the street, like my car, I was stopped at a stoplight, and he was smoking a cigarette and like walking, like asking people for money or whatever. And I hate like even admitting this, because I feel like such a shitty person to feel this way, but I immediately get like very anxious in that situation. And it's because of something that happened one time when I first moved to Charlotte. I was leaving church one day, and I was uptown, and I was trying to turn left, and there was a man, apparently he had escaped out of the hospital or something like that. No, because he had a gun. I don't know. Maybe he escaped out of the hospital and he had a gun. I don't know. But he was like standing, we were stopped at a stoplight, and there were 2 cars ahead of me and 2 lanes. We were all trying to turn left. And this man is like walking up and down like the cars. And I saw him at the car in front of me first. And, I thought they were like, there's people that do that ask for money for like charity things or whatever. So at first it didn't really like faze me. And I noticed him walking to my car. So I was kind of like starting to roll down my window, like to see what he was doing. And then I realized he had a gun, and obviously I like rolled up my window, and he was like, the light was red, so I couldn't move. There was cars on like in front of me, cars to the side of me. The light was red, like all the cars around were trying to like get away or whatever. And this guy is standing outside my window, like screaming at me, to the point that he was like spitting on my window. And I was terrified. Like I had no idea what to do. I just like stared straight ahead, and luckily like the light ended up turning green and the cars cleared out, and I don't even know what ended up happening with that man, but that scared the shit out of me. And so like, I hate to say it, but like anytime there's people that are like at the street, like at the stoplights or whatever, like asking for money or whatever, I never even roll down my window or like engage with them at all, because like, I don't know, I guess I just still think of that situation, and I should not let that one situation like harden my heart like that and completely, you know what I mean? Like, so it reminded me of this story. Like I always think about this with my niece. My niece came to visit. What was it? Like, I can't remember if it was when they were here last year. Yeah, it was when they were here last March. It was like almost a year ago. And my sister and her whole family came. And one day I had my niece Blair, she's the oldest one. She was with me, and she was sitting in my back seat. We were driving somewhere. I don't even remember where we were going, but we were at a stop sign or stoplight, and there was a homeless woman. I don't know if she was homeless, but I mean, she had a sign. I think it said that, I know what it said because Blair asked me. The light was red, and like Blair, and I don't think that she sees a lot of that in Evansville. Like there's definitely way more people, unhoused, I don't know what the politically correct term is to even say anymore, but unhoused, whatever. I think there's more, you see more of that obviously in bigger cities than you do like where she's from. So I don't know how often she has seen that, but I could tell it made her very curious. And all this is happening like pretty fast. Like I'm driving, like, you know, trying to pay attention to the road, trying to like, I'm not used to having kids in my car, like trying to make sure that she's safe. And I see she sees that woman, and she was like, what does her sign say? And it said, homeless and hungry with children, please help. And so I read it to Blair, and Blair was like, I want to help her. And I didn't have any cash, and I didn't have like food or anything. And I still, like I said, like my immediate reaction, I hate even admitting it. Like I feel like a piece of shit person that was my immediate reaction, was that I thought back to that one time when that guy was standing outside my window with a fucking gun in his hand, and now I have my niece in the car, and like I've got to protect her. Like this, she's not even my kid. Like, oh my God, my sister would like kill me, and like my niece, she's one of the most important things in the world to me. Like, I don't know, my knee-jerk reaction was like, the light turned green, and I was like out of there, and like we drove off, and Blair was like, please let me roll down my window, like I want to at least tell her I wish we could help her, but we can't. Like thinking back on it, like I feel like it could have been such a good teaching moment for her, like opportunity for her to, like I should have done something. Like I should have let her, like her tender heart wanted to do something for somebody, like saw somebody in need, and I'm like, I should have been like so proud that like that was her immediate reaction, and mine was like something negative and like protection mode or whatever, unnecessarily. Like, what is that woman gonna do? You're like, so anyways, that like stuck in my head, and I like regretted it for a long time. I always thought about it for like, it was like, it really, I mean, for like days, weeks even. So that was back in March. And then in May, I was in Evansville, and where, you know, I was visiting my family, and Blair was in my car again. And I had picked her up from school, and I had taken her to Dairy Queen, and she got a sundae. And I think at one point she wanted to go back up and get a root beer. So I gave her $5, and she went and bought herself a root beer, and she came back with the change, and I was like, you can keep it. And she was like, it was a couple of dollars and some change, but to her, she felt like it was a lot. So she like put it in her backpack. So anyways, we get in the car, we're driving later down the road. We had like ran a couple errands, whatever. We come to a stop sign, and there's a homeless man there, unhoused, whatever the correct term is. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. And I don't even remember what his sign said that time, because I didn't even like not that I didn't pay attention to him, but like that whole situation had stayed on my mind for weeks, months even. And so in that situation, I was like, oh my God, I knew I had cash that time. And I was like, I have to like let her help this man this time, because I know she's going to ask. And like, I looked up in the rearview mirror at her, and I saw her see him, and she looked at her backpack, and she goes, and I saw her like immediately go to reach for the like $2 that I had given her earlier, and like that's what she wanted to do with her money. And it makes me like so proud, and like honestly just admire her, and like the innocence of a child. And like that's never my reaction anymore. I feel like whenever I see those people, like a lot of times I don't always reach out to help. Like, and a lot of times, because especially being in bigger cities and like seeing a lot of people in need, I'm like, I can't help everybody. Like, I'm gonna be in need, and then I still have that horrible like reaction, thinking back to like that story of that thing that happened to me when I first moved to Charlotte, and how I've let that like one situation taint my perception of like anybody else in need, and how fucked up that is, and just like shitty. Like, it makes me feel like a shitty person. And like, I don't know, like I want to be more like my niece. Like I think about how, not just with that situation, but like how many other situations have I allowed things that have happened to me that maybe weren't great, but I've allowed them to harden my heart, and like, you know what I mean? Just like make me like maybe like a bitter person, or like resentful, and like so guarded even. Like, I don't want to be like that. I have to pray all the time, like, Lord, please keep me soft. Like, do not let the things that have happened to me, that have hurt me, harden my heart. I just want to be more like her. Like, I want to, and it also like scares me. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you're so innocent and genuine. And like I as her aunt, like, that is like one of my biggest wishes for her, is that she keeps that. Like, I hope that she doesn't let things that have happened to her harden her heart, or like make her bitter, like resentful towards other people. Like I'm like, you have such a beautiful heart, and I like, don't let anybody take that from you, because things are gonna like, this is why I can't be a parent because just being an aunt, like, it fucking tears me up. Like, knowing like just seeing them now, and how like innocent and sweet they are, and like, I'm like, I want to be like you. Like, I hate how like hardened I have allowed my heart to be from certain things that have happened to me, and like, And I know they're gonna go through hurt and they're gonna experience pain, and there's no way to like protect them from all of that, and you shouldn't. Like, you have to. That's like what builds character, right? But I just hope that they don't ever let anybody take that from them. Like, just like, I don't know, it makes me so proud to be their aunt, like especially that situation with my niece, and just thinking about how sweet she is and just how pure her heart is. And like, I'm like, I want to be Lord, please make me more like my niece.